I mean, for sure, budgets are getting squeezed, and I think it's more and more the case that headcount is getting squeezed, and there's a desire to do more with fewer people, and to be really smart about what choices we're making on staffing. I left General Mills and went to a sort of billion-dollar company, Foster Farms, and it was clear to me as I came in as CMO that we needed to absolutely elevate our sort of consumer touch points, and I needed to get that consumer insight function established at the company, but I didn't have the headcount to do that. And so that's where I reached out to you, Marilyn, and we dreamed up this idea of this fractional support that has worked so well for me. At Foster Farms, I used SIVO's fractional support on the consumer insights side for 5 years. And then when we sold Foster Farms, I left the company. I'm now CMO at another company and very quickly brought SIVO in with me again for the same reason. It wasn't a function that was established in the company, again, about $1 billion in revenue. And so it was a real opportunity to bring in and prove out the capabilities of consumer insights at the same time, knowing I was going to get a fantastic sort of like no questions asked. I was going to get the best talent at the right time. I think what you're getting with this fractional talent, because SIVO is the best at weeding it out, you guys are the experts themselves, is like you just know it's like going to a great college. You've already been filtered through, you're picking out the best talent. Um, and I just think there's also a little bit of a mindset of a fractional talent that's really important, that who we've brought in doesn't need to be like pitching in front of the C-suite. They can, but they don't need that recognition. They're not gunning for promotions within. They're really just there to do a job. They integrate really well with my team, but again, I can have them sort of play in the background or bring them to the forefront. It's a much lower lift for me and my team, I would say. They're really there to do the job, and in many cases to educate my team on what consumer insights excellence looks like, because that was not a function that was in either of the two companies. So I guess, again, to be more succinct, this combination of like excellence and expertise in their field, as well as this ability to work very seamlessly with the team, and again, not being in it to win it for promotions. They're really there to do the job, so it's just sort of very concentrated effort. I think it's just thought leadership first and foremost. I think most companies are, if not there already, wising up to consumer first and consumer led, and that's sort of like in their DNA. And so if you have a declaration like that happening in your company, it's like, well, what do I do with that, and who helps me execute that? So I think um, both of the individuals I've worked with have really brought that to the fore, helping educate on what that looks like, how to get close to the consumer, driving education and training, facilitating. Again, it's not just like executing the research, but interrogating, does that research need to be done even, or do we know this, or what do we already have on hand, or how can we be creative or scrappy about thinking differently about getting to the consumer and getting to insight. So many, right? Like just the economics have been really fantastic. I didn't hire a full-time person. I use a fractional person at 30 hours a week. So like that's worked out really well. I have no turnover because this person is here and they're very committed to us. I don't have to worry about them leaving. I've got a great backup from SIVO in that, the resources are there. The thought leadership is there behind my individual. I know that she consults with SIVO on, questions that are beyond her scope. And then just this sort of seamlessness of having someone who works well with a team. You filter out for people who are really exceptional at what they do and are used to and experienced with working on a team. When you're out there interviewing, you don't really know what you're going to get. So it's just like it's almost like a stamp of approval, I think, coming from SIVO, and I have found that through and through. I think the biggest compliment to SIVO is that my team doesn't really know about SIVO. Like they just know Jill. They know the person with whom they work. I am the behind the scenes working with SIVO, and I've found that to be extraordinarily easy. I think that the team at SIVO like really listens to what I need. When I start a project or when I moved companies, they were quick to sort of like curate who would be a good match. They get to know me as a client and what my demands are. My team would say it's a godsend. I mean, I think my team like loves in both places, loved working with this talent. Would sacrifice a lot of other things before they would give up this talent, which happily we didn't have to do.